Hi everybody and welcome back to LL Sports TV and another version of Keep It in the Family. And look who we got in the building today. It's not Kenya, it's her dad, the big man in the building. Where's her? You've got on the Jamaica colours as well.
Got on the Jamaican colours and I had done some Jamaican things to make Kenya go to do some housekeeping. I mean, clean up the yard and everything. Clean up.
No, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I've not had you on the show for a while, man. It's an absolute pleasure. And we got lots to talk about because the season is now just days away, and we can't wait. That first game against Man United is coming up, and everyone's looking forward to it in keen anticipation. You'll be going to the game, as you always do. I bet you can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a game. Man United, traditional rivals of Arsenal, away from home, massive, massive game. But going into this season, Arsenal have been, on the tip of everyone's tongue. 3 seasons on the row, finishing runners-up. Arsenal's active in the transfer window, spending, close to £1 billion now, all in all, with this window and previous windows. People are now saying, Robbie, it's time.
It is time.
It's time to win a trophy. And they're not talking about no domestic trophies either. Man's talking about we've got to win the Premier League. I was chatting to Turkish the other day, shout out to Turkish, chatting to Curtis, my man Curtis, chatting to Cecil. And everyone's saying, listen, man, it's Premier League or bust. So I've got you on the show today, and I'm going to be putting that question to you directly. Is it Premier League or bust? Or, if not, what is your minimum requirement for the season?
It's a really hard question to answer because, to just say Premier League or bust, that's a very, very hard task. I want us to win the Premier League. We've come runners-up in the Premier League for the last 3 seasons. We were runners-up in the Champions League last year not runners-up, but we got to the semi-final. We always seem to be nearly there, but not there. And I get and understand why so many fans are saying that Mikel Arteta has to get over the line now because you start to get into that Gareth Southgate territory. You know what I mean? Like what I call it is that...
The nearly man syndrome.
The nearly man, you know what I mean? Like you get to finals, you don't win it. You get to Euro finals, you don't win it. And then after a while you start to say, is this guy actually the guy that can take us over the line? So I do get it, but also we have to be a bit realistic as well. I mean, if you was to go to, all of those fans... that you just mentioned there, and plus go to do a poll amongst 100 fans right now and say who's going to win the league, right? Probably 90% of them will say Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
And the other 10% is going to be a mixture between Arsenal and Man City. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people are more saying Man City. I did a show the other day on AFTV, and when I suggested that Arsenal had a shout of winning the league, I think they can do it this year. The rest of the panel, which featured Tottenham fan, Chelsea fan, Man United fan, Man City fan, Liverpool fan, they all started laughing, right? So they're not expecting us to win it, right? So to say that he has to win it, and even guys like Turkish, these guys, right? You ask them who's favourites, they're saying it's not Arsenal. But
Liverpool will have to be favourites.
But you expect him to win it.
Yeah.
So that's a bit harsh, isn't it? If he was the favourite and you said you expect him to win it, then that would make more logic. But how can you expect someone to win something when they're not even the favourite?
That's true. What do you say to this? That people are saying, look, there's been significant investment in the club. Like I said, by now, if you calculate it, since Arteta's been at the club, it's close to £1 billion spent on transfer.
Yeah, but there's other
not net spend.
Yeah.
But there has been a lot of money spent. There's been consistent improvement, to be fair to Arteta, since he took over in 2019. Year on year, we've we climbed the table, 3 second-place finishes. But what do you say to those people who say that close is not enough for a club like Arsenal?
I fully understand. I fully understand. I get it. They're right. Close is not good enough for a club like Arsenal. You can come close a couple of times, but ultimately, if you keep not winning at a big club like Arsenal, fans are going to want to change. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I do think this season, Mikel Arteta has to win something.
Do you think he has the tactical and/or psychological edge in order to deliver a title to Arsenal?
I feel he has. I feel like he's got a team that could do it, but a lot of things are going to have to fall into place. I think the season where I really felt we messed up was not last season, because I thought last season we had so many injuries to key players. It was always going to be really difficult to win the league. I think if Liverpool had had them amount of injuries to key players over that sustained period of time, they wouldn't have done what they did last season. Liverpool had a virtual injury-free season, right, of all their top players, right, and that's what helped them to win the league. Man City were injury hit; they weren't the same team, right? So, but the season before that, that's when I felt Arsenal should have won the league, because that season I felt we had the best team. And also, I think we made a fundamental mistake in not going out and getting a striker, right? And that cost us ultimately the league, because there was games that we drew that if you had like a top striker in there, those could have turned into wins, and that would have got us over the line. So he has made mistakes,
but we do have a striker now, right?
And we've got a striker now, and but we're not the only team that's strengthened. We've strengthened. We've done great business. You know, you talk about the amount of money spent, but so has everybody else has spent loads of money as well. Everybody's spending money. Everybody's spending big money. So you can't just, when you're talking about our spending, you can't just look at it in isolation, because we're not the only team spending money. Everybody's spending money. Everybody's spending money. So it's going to be a competitive league. I do think we're going to challenge for it again. And I do think he has to win something. I think he has to win something significant. Now, I look on it a bit different. I look on it and say, right, if he didn't win the league, but say he won, say he pushed all the way in the league but won the FA Cup,
right,
I think then you probably then look on it and say, no, I wouldn't sack him, because...
But there is a school of thought, because, listen, I'm on that train as well. I think that if you put in a meaningful challenge, or when I say meaningful challenge, I'm not meaning like last year where the title was done with 3, 4, 5 games to go and Liverpool were on the beach by the time they won it. I'm talking about pushing them like
like the season,
the last game,
like the season before, where he pushed it to and even the previous season to that, it was a good fight up until we kind of fell away. A lack of experience, and that cost us, and we kind of fell away. But I think if it depends. I mean, last season I feel if he would have won a trophy, some sort of trophy, right, we'd have probably looked back on the season and said, actually, he didn't do too bad, because he got to the semi-final of the Champions League, which to me, that was beyond expectations. I don't think there was anybody predicting we were even going to get to the semi-final. And we got to the semi-final of the Champions League and ultimately lost to the team that won it, But I do feel he's under a lot of pressure this year to win a trophy, especially with Tottenham, winning the Europa League, that puts more pressure on again. So he's under a lot of pressure. And funny enough, right? I was going to say, right, funny enough, I feel that the pressure is more from the fans than the board. I think the board, they absolutely love him. And I think as if he did the same thing again this season, they'd probably keep him. But I think with fans now, fans are looking at it and saying, as I said, can you get us over the line? And that's the big question.
But when you say over the line, what line? Because you've said the FA Cup.
The league. The league is the line that he needs to cross. For me, that's the line that he needs to cross. Or if he would
but you said you'd be prepared to accept the FA Cup.
No, I'm saying me. No, I'm saying if he put in a big fight and just missed out in the league, but then won the FA Cup.
Oh, okay.
Me personally, I'm not talking about other people. Me personally would probably look at it and think, all right, I'm going to give you another chance. But if it's another season trophyless...
What about the Carabao Cup? Do you think that's... Because some people are saying, look, the Carabao Cup
I'm not
is
sure.
nothing special.
I'm not sure that's enough. I'm not sure that's enough. Listen, it'd be great to win a Carabao Cup, but I'm not sure that's enough.
Hypothetically speaking, so we win the Carabao Cup, the fans get a day out at Wembley, we win the Cup, it's all good. So that's like the first competition of the season. Say, for whatever reason, we miss out on the FA Cup, but then we go on, have a really good campaign in the Premier League, and maybe not win it, but you know what I'm saying, push it all the way. Likewise, say we get to the final of the Champions League. Would that suffice?
So won the Carabao Cup, pushed all the way in the league, and got to the final of the Champions League. It'd be hard to sack someone after that.
Yeah, because that's how I kind of feel about it as well. I'm kind of with you, but I just want to see a trophy. It's been too long now.
Yeah.
This is his 6th season. He's won 1 trophy in 5 years. He is a good manager. There's no disputing that. I mean, if if Arsenal were, and I do also agree with you, I don't think the board are going to get rid of him, but if they did, on the Friday, Mikel Arteta would have a job by the Monday. He's very highly thought of. Everybody can see that. But I just think as far as Arsenal's concerned, there is a school of thought to suggest that he's a nearly man. He's not quite got it to get it over the line, as you said earlier. So that is the tension that is.
And that school of thought at the moment is justified because he hasn't got us over the line. So he's under a lot of pressure this season. He's got to try and get us over the line. And it's going to be really, really difficult because, as I said, you're looking at what all the other teams have done. They've all strengthened, you know what I mean? Like Liverpool, you know, they're probably going to get Isak. I think they'll get Isak, right? You know what I mean? They're going to have a front three of Isak, right, Salah, and say Ekitike or you know, what's the other guy on the wing now? I've forgotten. Anyway, even this is that three. That's a great front three.
It's formidable.
Right? Man City could be getting Rodrigo. They'd have a front three of Rodrigo, Haaland, and Marmoush. That might even be even better, right? So he's going to be. Listen, don't get me wrong. We'll have a good front three. I mean, you got Saka there, you got Gyökeres. Who knows if we might get someone on that left-hand side as well.
Hopefully.
But it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Everybody's strengthened. Even that first game of the season, it's a different United we're coming up against. They've got more quality now. They brought in Mbuemo. They brought in Cunha, right? You know what I mean? They're looking at Baleba, right? Everybody's strengthening. Spurs have brought in a couple of good signings. Even teams like Everton, Jack Grealish. So that means that places and teams that you normally say, yeah, if we've got Everton at home, it should be all right, 3 points. All of a sudden, you're looking at their lineup in Ndiaye, Grealish, that if you're caught slipping at all, you're in trouble.
Would you agree
Brighton,
with me
all
that
these teams
the
that can take
title
points
this
off
year
you?
could be potentially the hardest to win in years?
It could be.
I've said that. I'm on the record as saying that.
It could be. It could be. I think it's going to be really, really competitive this year. But again, what it's going to come down to is what it comes down to in a lot of seasons. What team can, first of all, keep most of your squad fit and then go and then be consistent? Because, you know, you can go out and buy 10 new signings, right? Those signings have to settle in, right? And then you've got to keep your squad fairly injury-free because, you know, all the big teams are playing on multiple fronts. Now, I feel that that's the key. The key is having a really fit squad. And I think Arsenal in a good place, right, in that we've got a settled team. I've said this on a few shows that I've been on. I've said, even though we've made a lot of signings, the signings that we've made are more complement than a full change of everything. So if you look at Arsenal, it's the same back four. That back four is going to be the same. Still going to be Gabriel, still going to be Saliba, Timber, Mars Lewis Skelly, Calafiori maybe in there if Kivior stays. Raya in goal. Then you've backed it up by bringing in Kepa. Good signing if anything happens to Raya. Then you go into that midfield. They brought in Zubimendi and Norgard. They're both playing the same position. So you've got Zubimendi and he's going to be your main guy, but then you brought in Norgard for the experience that, you know, if you need to ease in Zubimendi and that, you've got Norgard, comes in, experience, captain of Brentford previously and that. But then the rest of the midfield is more or less the same. It's still Odegaard, it's still Rice. And then up front, the big change is Gyökeres. At the moment, it's still Saka, it's still Martinelli. I do think they're bringing someone out left-hand side, but it's not wholesale changes. There's a lot of other teams that have made a lot of signings, but there's a lot of players now to settle in, a lot of players to... So like you look at Liverpool, they brought in 2 new fullbacks, and don't get me wrong, they're good. They're top quality fullbacks, you know what I mean? And Kirkes, one of the best left-backs last season. Frimpong's been brilliant over the past few seasons at Leverkusen, but they're going to have to get used to the league. Them two, that's 2 players, they're going to have to get used to the league, right? So whereas Arsenal's back four, and that's one of the hardest positions to get used to things, they've been there, done it, for season in, season out. There's no real changes there. Even City, they've got Ait Nouri, I think they brought in a lot of players even in January and that. So we've got a very stable side. If that side can stay fit and there's like minimal injuries, we've got a really good chance. And with the players that he's brought in, I think he's made good signings that really complement the squad. And of course, the big one is Victor Gyökeres. Can Gyökeres deliver those goals if he can, we got a great chance of winning it. But it's tight. I really do feel, there's 3 teams there in Liverpool. Look, 4 teams. Don't discount Chelsea. So Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City. So to just assume that win it or you're gone is a bit harsh. But I understand it.
Okay then, thanks a lot. You've made a really good case there for Arteta. And I must admit, I do agree with a lot of what you said. This, to me, is going to be a very, very challenging season. And can't wait. But, just to bring things full circle. So you've said that you don't believe that Arteta has to win a Premier League.
Well, no, you know what, let me... I think from a fan's point of view, he needs to win a Premier League.
No, I'm asking you, your opinion.
My point of view is I need to see the circumstances around how everything plays out. But if he needs to win a trophy. Yeah. He can't... I don't think he can go trophyless this season.
No, I agree. And just very quickly, because as I said, we are strapped for time, give us your... I'm going to give you the competition. You tell us where you think we'll go. So Carabao Cup.
Carabao Cup, it's really hard to predict. It's all on the draw, isn't it? Yeah. If we get a favourable draw, we can win it.
FA Cup?
Same thing. Get a favourable draw, we can win that.
Champions League?
That's tougher, man. I still think it's probably semis.
Semi-finals. And Premier League?
Yeah, let me back my team, man, and go Arsenal.
Okay.
Listen, if all of that panned out, we'd have done a treble. I'd take that, right? I mean, but as we know, look, you see with them cup competitions, that's the thing. It's all on the draw, isn't it?
It is.
If the first draw of the Carabao Cup, you got Man City away or Liverpool away, you know what I mean? Your predictions change.
It's the vagaries of the draw.
Yeah.
It's the vagaries of the draw. But listen, man, thank you so much. One thing I would say, which could be an omen.
Sorry.
One thing that could be an omen. Back in the noughties, in the early 2000s, Arsenal also went 3 seasons.
That's true.
Finishing runners-up, and on their 4th attempt, they won the title. So if that's
true.
An omen, this could be our year. But Robbie,
Inshallah,
thank you so much for coming on. There you have it. In answer to the debate that is doing the rounds at the moment, what must Arsenal do this season? What does Mikel Arteta need to do to keep his job? Robbie has said that he'd love to win the league. He thinks we can win the league. However, it's not wholly and solely dependent on the league. As long as the manager wins a trophy and everything else is good, he'll rock with that, and I'm with you on that. Thanks a lot for coming on. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Keep it locked and loaded on LL Sports TV. If you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. We're out.